Ladies and gents, welcome to a best of 5. We are in the second round of Hidden Cup qualies. You probably already know this. And we've got a fan favorite here in Freakin' Andy here in round 2. He is the favorite coming into this series, especially because of what he's done in tournaments over the past year. We started all off with Islands. He's gone for the Vikings, which is a classic pick. That'll be fun. And then we've got Bad Koala. And Bad Koala is the Portuguese. And Bad Koala is a very different player stylistically than Andy. Now, a year ago, you guys might not have known Andy, and I could have told you about him and talked about his styles. And you know, he was a player that I did discuss, but I think never really had like that big like result to really get the competitive viewers talking about him. Bad Koala maybe in the same category. Now, like Andy's not new. He's new at his ranking now and what he's achieving, but he's been around a while. And Bad Koala has been around a while too. And Bad Koala, there's a way to describe him, and what makes the series fun is it is pretty much the opposite of Andy. He likes to make lots and lots of army. Now, this is Islands, so I expect there to be the naval approach. This is a true water map. There's always some people who really want to see some transport action, but realistically, this is going to test the skills on water, which very few maps do, like Islands. But if you're going to watch the series with me, just keep an eye out for those land maps, because basically Andy has a tendency to play very defensive and to play very low army and a lot of economy focus. And then Bad Koala is the exact opposite. Like the amount of times I've seen Bad Koala go full feudal, which is extremely rare in 2024. I mean, I can't even, I could think of 5 games off the top of my head right now just from ranked. So I think that some of the later games, we're going to see a bit of that. And so the styles will clash today, and that's kind of my way to hype you up for this series. But $150 goes to the loser of this series. That much is guaranteed, which is really nice, especially for Bad Koala, who doesn't have deep runs in tournaments. You win this, you get $370 minimum, and of course move into the third round. Where if you're looking at the favorites, guys, if the favorites were to win out, it would likely be Andy against Sebastian. And that would be pretty incredible for round number 3. But we'll see what Bad Koala does here. A lot of people seem to think Portuguese are the best island civ. I still think that Italians are number 1. Now, I mean, I think it's slight, right? But I would say Italians number 1. Then you have like Portuguese, Vikings, Japanese possibly in the rotation. Actually, Armenians. Armenians are disgustingly strong. They've been banned a lot. Armenians might actually be in most pros' eyes number 1 right now. But Portuguese have always been ridiculous against the Vikings because they have a ship called the Caravel. And the Caravel is a scorpion ship that does especially well against galleys. Now, some civs, like Italians, can go fire galleys, and the Caravel doesn't do too well against that. I wish like players could try and do that. It looked like Andy tried it. That's pretty funny. But so the weakness to the Caravel is fire ship. Vikings don't have fire ship. So this is actually an amazing matchup for the Portuguese, I feel, considering we might actually see the Caravel play out. So if you had any temptation to go land, any temptation to go against the water play here, you got to not do that here if you're Bad Koala, in my opinion. Also, the way Caravels work, they're especially good against longboats because longboats stack on top of each other really easily, which normally is good because it's hard to hit them all. But when the units pass through ships, it's very difficult. So we'll see. Priceless says, are any of the original AOC civs the best in common map settings, like Undisputed? I mean, it depends on your definition of common map settings, right? Like, within the context of Hidden Cup, you would have Arabia. And there, I actually don't think there's the Undisputed best civ on any map in this tournament. But Chinese has to be the one that comes to mind. Or were they AOK? I think Chinese is the first one that came to mind for me. But I don't think Undisputed would be the way to say it. They're a bit more vulnerable than they were in the past, let's say that. I don't think there's Undisputed best civ on any map. I think there's like on some maps, especially islands and cross where they incorporate water, you're going to have civs that have water bonuses be near the top there. But like Mayans lost to Incas on Arabia yesterday. Mayans lost to Hindustanis on Arabia this morning in another series, so definitely used to be Mayans more so in the past. So what's up, Poohee? Welcome. Also, salutes in chat to welcome some of the new mods to the channel. Wave 1 of new mods have come in. Now they are, I haven't told them this, but they are on probation, right? New job probation. And making sure that they can handle the amazing, not the amazing, the, what word am I looking for? The very important task that is moderating a Twitch channel. So don't make their life difficult. Look at Andy. He has 3 villagers on Shorefish. It's unique. Normally you're using the same villager to build all the docks. That's going to give him extra food income, though. That could actually make a difference in the uptime. Fire galley opening here for Bad Koala. Now, he'll know that the Vikings can't go fires. And galleys in low numbers can be problematic. The thing is, Viking docks are cheap. So it's fairly easy to go 3 dock opening with galleys. You save some wood there. And I like the galley opening as the strat here for Andy. But, you know, the front dock's a little bit awkward. Because normally you're going to side dock so you have a little bit more space and time here. T90, been watching your videos for years. Never just caught a live stream. Just wasted my Prime sub. Now, it's all good. Prime sub's not a waste. There's a lot of people out there who deserve the sub. So, it'll be back in a month. And you know what's in a month? Hidden Cup main event. Sorry, that's not meant to be, like, spooky. But welcome. Glad you could make it. So, already you could kind of see there how freaking Andy couldn't engage. He couldn't engage against that because if he did with the low numbers, he'd have problems. And these fires show up. Now, he can add a demo. He is actually pop-capped a bit, so the demo's not on the way, though. In the end, though, I still really like the galley approach. I think you get to this mass, and you're just, with the movement speed and the range, you're just able to micro down these fires so easily. Now, Bad Koala, what did we say about him? He likes land, and Bad Koala is making a transport ship from the back of his base, which is definitely not going to, lead him to get there anytime soon. But he knows that Andy might end up overtaking him on water because of this opening. I mean, it was clear as day for me based on what I've seen here. You don't even need the demo if you're Andy. So he's going to try and go to land. I find the opening on water quite underwhelming for now. So his plan must be to come back on water later on in Castle Age. And if the game goes late, the Portuguese do have some fun bonuses to work with. Look at that from Andy, though. If he lost that scout, that would have actually been pretty poor to scout any potential landing. But he just used the scout as a distraction there. And oh, no, don't tell me this demo is also going to connect perfectly. Bad Koala, gets rocked by the demo. This is the dream start for Andy, at least on water. Dun, 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 dun. All aboard! I don't think they say that for ships. I'm pretty sure that's just trains. But just pretend this is the train of the sea. And now he's going this way? Well, it's going to be a long time till he gets there, but Bad Koala will hopefully get there. And if he arrives on this side, it's actually much better than if he were to arrive on this side, because there's actually no stone or gold here. I think for him, he's expecting pressure here, and he doesn't want to go that way. He is falling back with his fishing ships to keep them alive. But Portuguese have more HP on their ships. There's lots of things to get excited about with Portuguese there. And just lost every single one at this point. Here he goes. All right. So, you can come back on water, and if you get the upgraded fire ship upgrade, you do really well against feudal age galleys. We see that all the time. Andy still hasn't clicked up. So as good as Andy's engagements have been, he has been very heavy on wood and very heavy on gold to get here. Andy also has docked the back. Not really sure if that's for fish or what. He did go up to 7 fishing ships, though, so clearly. And now he doesn't see fishing ships from his opponent, so he is going to go try and kill them now. But here is Bad Koala. I said it in Dark Age, people. I'm not crazy. No, correction. I'm crazy, but I for a crazy person, I got the prediction right. Are you freaking kidding? He's going to make the stable right next to his opponent's mill? This is supposed to be a sneak. It's not supposed to be well, maybe he's sending a message. Oh, God. Oh, God. Andy notices this. Andy notices this. Andy wants to trap this. And Bad Koala builds his own house there. Awkward times. Everyone has a house. These villagers maybe need to run, but if you run, then you can't produce the knights. Andy's freaking out. Can Andy stop this? He killed a villager. There's no loom for Andy. Andy's on the way to the next stage. But now the stable has been walled in. I think you might need to tower here. I love the stable because it's so freaking funny to me that he built it right in his face because he saw the mill. But I also hate the stable because if it would have been sneaky, this would be Knights and Andy's eco. And we have to say respect to Andy for realizing that he could delay this. Now, at the end of the day here, I think that as the Siege Workshop is somehow being built... The Siege Workshop is being built through that little tree and house. You know, this is going to go up. The Knights are going to come out. The Siege Workshop's going to go up. Andy took losses. And Andy's adding a lot more fishing ships. He's going to have a lot of eco, but remember, he does not have loom right now. And it is in queue. Andy never even reacted with a barracks here. So no barracks for him. He wants to drop a town center there. And Bad Koala can't see it. Oh, can you imagine? That TC's crazy to me. Forward Monastery from Bad Koala. Siege is going to be on the way, and here he comes to pressure. And let's see what openings he can find. Andy, he came to play a water battle here. And Bad Koala has brought it to land. What did I say? Doubt we'll see water play, or doubt we'll see lands play, even on this map? Well, I was wrong. But, I mean, Andy's done a great job to make sure that he doesn't fall apart, right? He's protected so much. He has food income from fish. Now, what you don't want to do is lose your scout there, because then you can't convert the monks. And now the siege is on the way, and that TC is a massive target. And, I mean, I think you guys know this. Most of us would be completely dead against this push. This is insane. I don't see how you're supposed to be able to stop this. Everything is so freaking cramped. So much can go wrong. But this is Andy. Andy can defend with low numbers and an eco lead. Precisely what we said. Maybe just not what you thought was going to happen here. Nice micro there from Andy. Vikings don't get redemption, so you can't convert the enemy siege. You would need to use your own siege. And conversion happens there for Andy, but Bad Koala just diving. I think Bad Koala is actually doing the right thing here, because he kills the siege and he kills the monk. And this knight can't engage against this siege because this monk is here. So Andy's going to go forward with villagers. They are much faster, actually, because he's Vikings. And the monk went down. His knight isn't there anymore. I don't even know what happened to it, but villagers doing the job. Or not, actually, for Andy. Bad Koala. I mean, all that water control, his eco at home is untouched. This is why I wanted to cast this series, man. This is a great series. This is a crazy play from Bad Koala, who's just so consistent with it. And I think his style is so fun to watch against a player like Andy's. But Andy's defense, Andy turns it around. He's almost going to lose his TC here, but he turns it around. Bad Koala lost a lot of his knights here. He's lost a lot of his siege. There he kills some siege. And Andy still has 14 fishing ships working. He's still taking out the docks, and it is advantage Andy. With reds collected, Andy can be okay. And Andy, if only he had stone right now. If he could take stone, which is back here, he could maybe go towers or something. But look at this guy. Look at him. He takes out the siege with a converted knight. Here another knight comes in. The villagers for Bad Koala have to be careful. And now, just like that, Andy has more knights than his opponent. That is way easier said than done. Beautiful, beautiful play. And it's still far from over, right? This eco is wonderful here for Bad Koala. Portuguese can be great in the long run. You still have a forward at your opponent's base, right? You still have these buildings. You can use this, right? Monks can still convert the knights back, or maybe some villagers because you lost yours. You can do some great things. Now, I think something which could be fun for Andy here is actually make transport, and you use these monks to just get the relics right now on the neutral islands. We're going to see Bad Koala try and dock. That is really fortunate for Andy that there just happens to be a galley there. But Bad Koala is going to try and come back on water. And still is posing some type of threat here on land. He's making scouts. And I can't help but feel like I should point out to people who are saying GG right now, this game is going to go on for a long time. I'm not so certain of it. And the monks here get back. They convert their friends back to their side. The monks from Andy have gone down. The siege push can continue. So to all you GGers, love and respect to you. I'm glad you're here. But you don't know freaking bad Koala, man. Actually, excuse me, it's freaking Andy. Not freaking bad Koala. Still no farming eco for Andy. His fishing eco will get less efficient over time. It already is. There is farming eco for bad Koala. There's the transport chip for Andy. Andy did deny this dock, though. I think bad Koala should be back docking here and not trying to side dock. How does Andy find these? How does he just magically have a galley next to every dock? Super easy to just dive in and then lose everything, as we saw before, because Andy's always waiting. But here, Mangonel goes down. Ooh, that's a big deal. I think it's going to be tough for Andy to ever get Imp at this rate. To get the balance down. But yeah, another dock denied. I mean, poor bad Koala, he's going to just rush that one down now. They're still looking at the front all the time, though. I wouldn't mind the Atonement upgrade, actually, from bad Koala right now. Just convert those monks. You have enough monks here. Andy, finally, he never really added land army. And this is, again, something that's pretty typical for him. He likes his monks in siege. He's going to go for the light cav upgrade now. But bad Koala does not care, man. And he will go in and he will take the siege and he will back away before losing any more knights to conversions. This is amazing for Koala. And the main TC, the starting TC, will go down now for Koala, who converts his knights back, who's going to lose another knight, who now needs to convert the other knights, but he used all his monks for conversions, so these knights can turn around and kill him. Monks are going down on both sides. The TC could go down. The siege could go down. And Andy, is he going to clear it up again? He looks like it. What a crazy moment, man. We've got scouts, we've got light cav, we've got knights, we've got siege, we've got villagers everywhere that do not want to be going through this. And then we've got a new dock from bad Koala. Can you see why I was hyped to cast bad Koala here today? The scrappiness is so fun, man. And I refuse to say he's not in it right now. I really feel as though, even though he's taking these losses, even though Andy's got the lead, if he can just start to send fire galleys out, it's 59 villagers against 63. The difference is the fishing eco. And I think you can kill that fishing eco with fires right now. You can kill the navy that freaking Andy has in theory as well. Andy might be looking to transport knights over to the other side. I mean, that would actually be the best play right now. The second there's no threat here. Love the decision to add rams. The light cav made a big difference. The spear edition made a big difference. I think Andy has officially dealt with this. Now we'll see if bad Koala can deal with the navy. You know, there's still lots of upgrades for Andy. Andy, notice this dock. But now the fire ships are out, and this is where it becomes a bit messier. Bad Andy versus freaking Koala. What a fun game. Yo, Boom Stereo, welcome back. Thanks for the 8. 3 TCs now for bad Koala. And I like how Andy's played it, man. Like, Andy's defense has been really good, like we said. The issue now is, with the way the fires are being microed, he's got all these different spots to defend, and he can't really deny shorelines from his opponent, who's trying to get more docks up. You either deny shorelines, or you lose your fish at this point. It looks like he's going to try and mix both, though. Here go the monks. Now, we added additional resources and relics to the neutral islands, because this map is a map where you eventually are going to run out of res if the game is really close. So we wanted further incentive to the player who has the control over the game. And Andy's going to take advantage of that. And we don't really see a lot of production for bad Koala on water. I think he's going to stop here. And maybe think about Imp. But I personally, I mean, you're not that close to Imp. I personally would have liked to see like 4 or 5 dock fires. And no way, dude. Andy, who has seen this relic with his navy, is going to try and yoink this relic from the opponent's island. Well, that's not happening. It was close, though. I respect it. And now he can convert a villager here. I mean, this villager could build military buildings over here. But the monk was weak. And the monk got smacked. Oh, my God. That's hilarious. That is hilarious. Normally, that's a conversion there. But that's, I guess, why you don't send the weak monk to the other side. Villager says no. Take that, Jesus. Okay. Imp is on the way now for Andy. And he has a lot of things he could transport over. This looks hilarious to me. It is rare that at a high level, I just think low elo legends. But when I look at this, that's all my brain tells me. This is a professional game. This is a pro game. And that's what we're seeing. It looks like even like a scenario almost. Villagers and monks head here. Undoubtedly go to this island. It is going to be tough for Bad Koala here. All the GGers earlier, we thought Andy had won it. We're thinking about this moment. Bad Koala, he does have the Fatoria. It is a building that you can place that gives you resources, infinite resources, but it takes up pop space. It costs a lot of resources, and it is almost always rangeable on islands. Something we thought about with this version is like, we didn't want like a Fatoria stack to be unbreakable. And you got to play the early aspects of the game. Bad Koala tried to take it to land. Andy defended so nicely. And I love how he's not messing around with some of the land aspects himself now. Super smart. Now that water control is fully collected, he's going to build a castle here. He's going to use the light cap here. So I think that Caravel unit is your best unit against the Vikings. Bad Koala may feel like that's not an option here. Can someone remind me? It's really embarrassing how I get so confused with water tech trees. But I think Portuguese don't get fast fire. I think they obviously get Castle Age fire ship. They get Galleon. They get Caravel. They get heavy demo. I don't think they should get fast fire. They do not get fast fires. Okay, so that makes sense. So that means it has to be Caravels then. Right now, Red's making some spears to deal with the light cav raids. Andy's ability to defend that push was crazy. It felt like, I mean, his TC almost went down. This TC was so bold. He TC'd his opponent's push. That's so risky. But that is why he's been able to really, make a name for himself over the past year or so. You have to have elite pressure, and you can't make any mistakes, otherwise he will defend from it. Made it look super easy. Can't be overly critical of Bad Koala. I think the Feudal Age opening was a bit rough. Like, he gave up water very easily. But at the same time, I think he gave up water easily because he was thinking about Castle Age and landing with Knights and Siege. So, here are the Caravels. This is the ship, which looks amazing. Also, when the Caravel dies, I think it's the most satisfying death animation. Which YouTube has called me out. I think I haven't made my second episode of most satisfying death animations in AW2. But I've always said that about the Caravel, and I didn't include that in my first episode. And a bunch of you guys were like, hey, where's the Caravel? Is it good enough, though? We already have cannon galleons. Since Hidden Cup 4, which also featured islands, there have been a lot of changes on water. Longboats have been changed in some way. The Fatoria has been changed. Cannon galleons and how easy it is to get to has been changed. So you see how the longboats stack, right? That is actually bad against the way Caravel works. But it feels like Andy just has so much firepower right now. Having elite and these not being elite Caravels, it does not matter. And sure, Bad Koala is going to think, I can do this. Maybe I'm Caravel. Portuguese OP late game, but that is just not enough here. Fatoria is rangeable by Cannon Galleon. We've got a forward castle from Andy. Andy has dominated him here. And as elite Caravel is finally coming in, I want to see, let's zoom in on them dying. Maybe we get to the final one. Look at the way it sinks into the sea. Oh, that is so cool. But yeah, we might not see that much more because the docks are going to be taken out by the longboats. And this game is for freaking Andy. Pretty cool. Any surprises here for you guys? Anyone pleasantly surprised with Bad Koala in that one? I was. I like the energy behind the push. I think that he also played to his strength. The problem is his strength is, in some ways, or at least in this game, countered by Andy's strength, which is the greater eco and then the defense. But if it's not a water map, if that type of push starts against you and you can't have 20 fishing ships, I think it could be different. Andy takes the first game with the Vikings there against the Portuguese and played that nicely. 82 kills, 51 deaths. Economy was beautiful. Don't forget, Vikings get wheelbarrow and handcart for free, so that helped their eco massively. And then again, it was just like, as he's getting pushed, he just said, I will fish boom, and my engagements will be good enough. Eventually mixing in the light cav and whatnot has been awesome. So, all right, so it's quarry action here. And this map is a fascinating one. So I remember the tier list of civs in the past, and a lot of people really liked Britons. But Britons are very much out of meta these days. Would you guys agree? We're not seeing Britons picked a lot. So we have Britons here for Andy. He also had Cumans, so I'm now very interested to see where he wants to play Cumans, because I've seen that attempted here. And so here for Quarry, Britons for Andy, and then we've got Bad Koala as Byzantines. Now, I already set the tone in game number 1, but I have to repeat myself with this. And Bad Koala loves to go forward. He loves to make army. He loves to make it messy. And I have had many sleepless nights because Bad Koala has forwarded me with spears and skirms. And quite honestly, just bringing it up, it doesn't make me feel good. So it would not shock me at all if Bad Koala would love to come forward here, barracks, archer range, spears and skirms, towers, and just try and slow down the Britons. Now, if this does go very, very late, I think the Britons can actually compete with the Byzantines on a choke pointy map. So, Warwolf trebuchets, long-range longbows, skirms, all that stuff can be good. But Byzantines have very cheap counter units. And I think this is a 50-50 matchup, maybe even better for the Byzantines, because it's just so easy to play them at times. So we'll see. All right. But yeah, Britons are good here because usually a lot of the focus is coming through the middle. It's very easy to defend. It's kind of a one-dimensional, somewhat one-dimensional play compared to other maps. I think Andy's going to drop a barracks here, though, to apply some pressure, and there it is. Now, you do have the option to chop through the sides. We haven't seen that yet. We did have players attempt it, but usually players are pretty smart. And they're going to outpost this to get vision on it and wall behind it. But we haven't really seen attacks through the sides. Even if you could go through there, let's say that was wide open. I don't know if there'd be a lot of incentive to go around the side when in the middle there's deer and in the middle there's gold. The middle feels very important here. Now I'm flirting with the idea of potentially making some tweaks. Obviously, I can't tell you guys what the tweaks are for the main event. It would give a competitive advantage to main event players, but I think with the qualifier map pool, we don't have stone walls on any maps, right? There's no arena style starts. So maps like Gold Rush being a little bit more wallable, Quarry being, you have to work, as some of the arena players will say about some Arabia players, arena with extra steps. It has a lot of extra elements to the game. It is a lot more skill elements than just starting with walls, but been really happy with the Quarry games, the diversity we've seen. And Andy, are you going to scout with your drush here, bro? Are you going to scout with your drush, or are you just blindly going forward? They can't help themselves. No one wants to have their villagers here because their villagers would be exposed. So Andy is going to push one final deer. And then he's going to go... Well, he killed the deer. Okay. He's going to go forward with that scout to apply some pressure here to Bad Koala. Now, the berries are not always on the front, but they are typically on the front. I actually do not know. I should know this. But come to think of it, the last 2 or 3 times I recall the berries being on the front. So that might be a fixed thing about the map that we actually have in the script. But it seems like more often than not that's the case. So it seems like that is a part of the map. And maybe Andy knew that. Andy, with a bit of just passing here, has gone through. And this is a good old take me back to 2015 Drush Fast Castle here from Andy. And this is really smart. I think if there's any map for a Drush Fast Castle, this is it. Andy left the berries. Bad Koala did. Bad Koala now has had to wall on his wood. And Andy, realizing he's not going to get much more damage, is going to attack this house and will actually take that house out if nothing's done. He's on the hill. Dark Age houses have less HP. And, well, he'll get to Feudal Age. He'll get a little bit more. Actually, a significant more because he's Byzantines. But didn't I say Bad Koala wants to forward? Well, his opponent is walled. There's never been a better invitation to forward. And here it is. There's the archery range. And I think Andy kind of has some suspicions. Because his opponent's in feudal, right? If your opponent's in feudal, they're likely doing something. He sees the barracks. Spear will probably hop out to try and hit the scouts. No, it doesn't. And then he moves this way. And yep, Andy knows he's done his homework. He knows there's got to be something out here in the darkness. No skirms yet. We're going to see a tower from Bad Koala. I'm not sure that Andy is going to have the resources to reach Castle Age, folks. He's run out of food. I mean, that's not exactly true. He's got berries. And he's got 5 farms. But he cannot engage against this tower because there will be army out here. And while this is a bit sloppy for Bad Koala at times, he's still got lots of sheep. And he's starting to apply pressure, which is what the man likes to do. Here we go. Rolex, it seems like Andy is just on another level. No competition here. I think Andy... I think game number 1 showed there's plenty of competition. Even if Andy 3-0s, if the games are like game 1, I think it's still pretty competitive, but... I get that you acknowledge that. But Mr. Speaker here has to be like, get the words right, Yeah, I think this will be really interesting. Because Andy has a decision to make. Does he go market and sell his stone when his opponent's going to tower rush him? And he might need the stone? Bad Koala, it's going to take him some time to go through. There's the market. Okay, so he's just going to wall this area off. Does still have the scout, does still have the militia around. I agree with you, though. Like, Andy is the favorite here. And the hype about him is for good reason. And right now, he's at least prevented himself from being broken. I'm not so convinced, though, that his position in Castle Age is going to be amazing. Like, his eco is kind of a wreck right now. Even if he uses the market, he might not click up. There he goes. And we're going to see a tower here from Bad Koala. This is the thing. You can't sell your stone because Bad Koala could break through. I think Bad Koala has actually brought the scout and spear home to try and find this because he knows he's going to need to take gold. And yep, here he is. The spears and the scout will actually do a decent enough job. Here Andy's attacking. Here Andy has to defend. Andy still hasn't clicked up. Bill count is even. Archers coming out. Towers are coming up. And Bad Koala, he will have the preferable position at least here to apply pressure for now. Still Andy using the market, selling wood, buying food. But the tower's up. And you might actually be able to squeak through here. Good old-fashioned tower hop. It used to work every time. They, kind of patched it out at one point. If he goes into the tower and tries to hop out this way, it should be pretty obvious. It doesn't look like he's tried it. It does still work from time to time, but I don't actually know the circumstances where it works and doesn't work. Now, okay, big thing. Andy's going to push this, right? So I would like to see Koala at some point just stone wall here and protect the choke. I think it's an underrated move, but he wants to kill right now. And finally, Andy clicks up. So, this house is going to go down, right? Villagers came out to repair it. This is just so Andy, dude. This is his Black Forest style defense. Tower hop! And freaking Andy drops the dadgum because he sees the units have just come through. It is possible. And I don't think Bad Koala thought it's not possible. And now the villagers are in building a tower, and Andy not too pleased. And letting us know Also letting his opponent know. And there's always a part of the game in the past. And yep, the units just go into the tower and out of the tower. Look at Koala. Maybe Paranoid, a chop through could happen. He's just going to drop his market there. And he's got 4 on food. Now, he did save his stone. He can drop TCs. He can go siege. It's just, this style of play is so unique for someone who is so good. Obviously, a lot of players are known for getting by with as little military as possible, but it's like, there's levels to it, right? And I wonder if Andy wins this series, can he beat Sebastian in the next series? If Sebastian wins, that is. Who is a more accomplished player, who's a more aggressive player. It would be such a fun matchup. I think, can you guys verify for me that's the group before I'm just talking nonsense? I think it is. So, tower hop works out. House will be down as well, though, so more units can just funnel in. Bad Koala must be a little bit scared his opponent's up. Now, I don't like the palisade walls. I would prefer the stone walls. But actually, palisade walls here is kind of fine. I was just thinking the stone walls, if you on the front, would be great, because then you keep your opponent away from the gold. What does Andy do? Town center, town center. It's just like the previous game, really. It's just like he doesn't have fish this time. He does have his golds. He does have wood. I think he's going to have a lot of idle TC time because he won't be able to produce vills that consistently. But ultimately, he'll have the siege, and he could push this down, and Koala could lose all of this if he's not careful. Now, Koala can see a lot, but he can't see the TC. He can't see the siege workshop. That's pretty wild. Now he can see the siege. And now he needs to be careful, and his scout gets attack grounded, and that's a sign he needs to get out of here. Now, what Andy can't see is that Bad Koala is making a stable. And what he's doing here, and this is really smart, he's actually dropped... He's actually dropped these houses, so army can't come through this way, and that means this tower could actually just be taken out. Now, if he attacks that tower with the siege, he could actually hurt his own vills. So instead, he just goes for this tower. Scouts on the way for Bad Koala is hilarious to me, and it's still just a 3 TC boom for Andy right now. So he will gain a big villager lead because of these town centers. And I love how he's just buying food here. It's really smart in these situations. You buy the food because you don't have the farm set up yet. You just get a big villager spike. This Andy things, man, has defended so nicely. We'll take out this tower. Could lose a villager here. He's got to be really careful, but I think he could always just pull the siege. And it's just like so well timed. And doesn't lose a single villager. Will these towers stay up? There's just this one for now. And there's going to be scouts for Bad Koala. He really needs this forward to still hold this area. It's actually denying all the stones from Andy. Actually, that's not true. There's a stone there. So, okay. Tower's up. Monastery now for Bad Koala. Maybe thinking that Andy will go knights. This tower could go down as well. Archer could go over there, but it's still not a lot. Here come the scouts. This is Andy. He sees the scouts. And he sees the knight. And he tries to go for the attack grounds here. And Bad Koala, zero hesitation. Bad Koala with scouts and a knight? Goes underneath here? I do not agree with that. And that's 3 knights you go in every time, but that's only 1 knight. And that really hurt Koala. I think the moment here... maybe getting to him. He didn't have the patience he needed. Felt a little obvious to me that as Andy kills his own scout. It felt a little obvious to me that dive wouldn't work against TC fire. And now you've got to build up more army, but we do have knights. Now that was a sign if you're Andy, you might need monks. So monastery on the way. Next knight comes forward. Bad Koala just 1 town center aggression. And he micros with the knight. Tries his best. Brings in the rest of the knights. Selling stone even. He's still not booming. Rest of the knights here. This is before the monks. He goes for the siege. He tries to get the kill. And Andy does end up killing one of the knights. He loses the mangonel. The tower's still being repaired. If Andy clears this, as he kills another knight, Andy will have an awesome position to expand and simplify his game. In a game that he's made look simple, but really, this is not. And bad Koala. Still just... Okay, he's got Siege now. This changes things. This changes things big time. Because now Andy needs something that more than Monk and Siege. This tower will stay up. Sick micro. So impressive. Oh my god. Almost gets the kill tower! Oh, that poor bad Koala, man. Poor bad Koala. The Spearman killed it. And now he doesn't get the Mangonel kill. And then the Knight gets converted. Oh, it's just not your day. And watch, he won't get the conversion here either. Oh, man. Every tiny little moment that Andy could have had go for him there worked out. Had that gone differently, had the Mangonel survived here, had it gone down here, had the conversion not happened, it would have changed things. But Andy, knowing this, is going to rush with Vils, of which he's got plenty. He'll now bring in the Knight because the Monk is down. He'll clear up the Siege. And Andy has a 15 villager lead. He'll kill the villagers here. It is 3 TCs against 1. And even though we knew bad Koala would bring some crazy energy here, he has not been able to break Andy yet. And Andy just needs to convert this Knight. Which, okay, small misstep, but still, it's just 1 Knight. Repairs can happen. More monks can come out. The TC fire, yeah. You're not breaking Andy with that there, bad Koala. And of course, the Knight even gets converted there. Did Koala see that his opponent was on TCs? He saw one of them. But I think you can in many ways assume based on the lack of investment from Andy. What Koala went for here I think was really good. It's just, again, an execution thing. Like, these all-in pushes can snowball on you and it can punish the player who's been greedy. But the greed has not been punished yet again. Now, this is interesting. Andy headed to the middle where Koala is going to build a TC. I think Koala sees this and thinks that Andy's going to drop a castle. Which is kind of funny because Andy doesn't have the stone for a castle. The TC would have been great. But now Andy's going to TC there. 4 TC boom. And he's going to boom in the middle of the map. Dang. Goes to stone now, which he wasn't able to justify before. So that could be for a castle. And bad Koala. He is behind by 20 villagers. I said before the start of the series, I was like, this is either a epic 3-2 banger or it's a 3-0. Because I just knew Andy would play defensive and Koala would play aggressive. But this is now the second example of Andy's defense working. I don't think Koala has played poorly either. But looking really, really strong here for freaking Andy. Just sticking to his game. Not doing anything too crazy. And Imp now on the way for bad Koala. Okay, so that's his last chance, is the Imperial Age. You go up to Imp. Especially if Andy drops a castle here. You can make your own. You can treb it down. But it's 2 TCs in total. Now you've got 1 TC producing villagers against 4. There's going to be a crazy eco lead here for Andy, who's also going to snatch up the relic from the middle. Also has the gold in the middle. Is actually taking deer in the middle, which is kind of interesting. Clearing up all the buildings. And actually, I think Andy's idling his TCs to go Imp here. That's what this feels like. Okay, he stopped producing vills. Saving his food. There's the castle for Koala. Super risky because he doesn't have his own siege. But he doesn't see any siege from Andy. So, I guess it's an informed decision. And does Andy see that? He doesn't. It's actually critical now, the timing on Andy's castle and the positioning of it. This army could actually be a headache. Siege is on the way for Koala. He needs to make sure this army doesn't get through. I think Andy is going to drop a castle. Okay, he saw this, and this is smart. So now he's going to back up, I think. That's a Zim TC! Bro! Why that one? You cleaned up the enemy base. They need to pressure you, or else you will win the game. And you go hard mode, you go super mega impossible mode, and you go imp on the front. And guys, buildings on cracked terrain take more damage. A treb on the hill, a treb against cracked terrain TC. If Andy doesn't realize, Andy might not make it to imp. Oh my god. I mean, oh my goodness, man. Let's see. Treb's on the way. Now, if Koala knows about this castle, he would go for that first. You never assume your opponent's imping in this TC. I think the Treb gets 2 volleys off, and the Treb won't actually be enough. And the Treb would also see the castle. What in the world, man? Amazing hype over nothing. This isn't nothing. You can't say that to me. Hamder pool. You can't say that. You might swim in your pool of logic, buddy. You can't say that. This is not nothing. Now, you're right. He's going to lose the TC, but look how much damage it took. But he did, you know, maybe he noticed and it's fine. Yeah. That's crazy. Now Bad Koala doesn't see the castle. He doesn't see the castle. What crazy. I mean, what are the chances? He could see everything else in the middle but that castle. So he doesn't know his opponent has a castle there to trap down, which could change his decisions. Another castle here for Andy. The second castle is going to be in the middle, but his opponent can't see it. What in the world, man? If Britons get to Werewolf here, this is over. And Andy's eco is insane. Nice shot there from Bad Koala. Now this castle's been spotted. And Werewolf's not the cheapest upgrade ever. But you've got to think that Werewolf is what Andy's thinking about now. Yeah, buildings on cracked terrain take more damage, more bonus damage. And it was also a Treb on the hill. So I think a normal Treb shot does like 450 damage. And I think that Treb shot did 800. Can you imagine? Like, this game would have been crazy if his imp was delayed by 3 minutes. Bad Koala trying to get his eco on par with his opponent now. But his opponent has the relics. And like we said, even though the Byzantines have cheap counter units, I feel like the Britons with Werewolf Trebs and long-range archers could definitely hold against skirms. Mangonels were all killed by the Trebs here. And, okay, Andy's going to leave that gold temporarily. These Trebs killed 2 villagers and a Mangonel. So Werewolf is going to mean 100% accuracy for the Trebs. And then also greater damage output, a greater splash damage. So, but the biggest thing is just 100% accuracy on the Trebs. In a Treb war, that means you win the Treb war every time. Byzantines do get access to bombard cannons, so bombard cannons could potentially swing things. Feels like Andy's waiting for this, like he knows about this, and now Werewolf is in. And yeah, it's just so well calculated. This castle still could go down, though. He has no HP upgrades. He has no repair bills. Okay, well, actually, Bad Koala saw the Trebs. And see the difference? Yep, see the difference. Werewolf is in. You just know. Like, if you're Bad Koala, you're now like, oh, crap. It's obvious Werewolf is in, and felt like this was the moment for Koala. The only chance he had left was pushing with the faster in the Imperial Age, having the stronger castles. It becomes very tough here when Andy's got so much eco. Andy can make a lot of mistakes, and he could still be completely fine here. Shout out to that one archer in there. Oh, he died. No, that was a converted archer. That poor guy didn't get any extra range. And he's amongst all these crossbows that have 10 range right now, because he's truly a Briton. And he was just a Byzantine. Really ruined the joke potential, I have to say, so I'm disappointed in Andy's micro. Andy also, no Arbalest yet. Could go for Yeoman as well to get more archers. But he's just focused on the Trebor. As he should be. He even gets siege engineers now. I mean, he's just playing the Trebor. He played defense. I love the Drush. I thought the Drush was great. His defense was solid enough. And just like game number 1, it's just like just good enough. And then his eco kicks in. Actually deleted that castle. Castle down for Bad Koala, though. Skirms for Bad Koala, great unit choice. But is it going to be enough? You can't push this that easily with just skirmishers and bombard cannons because the crossbows and the Trebs are still destroying. Werewolf is insane, dude. Why Britons? That's why Britons. Bombard Cannon is microing his heart out. Good old Jean Bureau here, but Jean Bureau has not got enough. I got to work on the pronunciation of that. Jean Bureau. Again, I actually am going to do pronunciation practice before the main event, but I've been so busy I haven't done it for any of the heroes we've revealed, so we'll work on it. Jean Churro. Wow, bad Koala. Still pushing here. Still believing. Crazy. Opponent's got double the population. Now Arbalest is on the way for Andy. 3 castle stack in the middle. My goodness. And Bombard Cannons will just go down here. Because the Bombard Cannons will have the same range as these archers. Just Britain things, man. Does Warwolf also equal to 100% accuracy? Yeah, so it's 100% accuracy. The 100% accuracy is a problem when the units are moving, though. Because normal Treb shots kind of vary where they land. So against Bombard Cannons, like right there, obviously the Bombard Cannon didn't micro. But if this Bombard Cannon micros to the side... Okay, horrible examples. But you see what I'm saying. If you have 5 Trebs on a Bombard Cannon with Warwolf, and then the Bombard Cannon player micros to the side... It's always going to miss then. Whereas with regular Trebs, sometimes the Trebs still hit. So arena players actually feel like Warwolf is not good against Bombard Cannons, which I find interesting. Because that, like, you know, the RNG aspect, the luck aspect is higher without it. Warwolf Trebs also gain the ability to hurt your own units. Yeah, I may have accidentally killed my own king in a Regicide game once with Warwolf Trebs. Maybe. Maybe. Just once. So I found that out the hard way. But it's not my fault, because, listen, this is what I did, all right? Let me explain, since this game is already over. So it was a random cost mod game, and I got Britons, and Trebs were 1 wood. So, naturally, I was going to make 1,000,000 Trebs. So I had my king, and I had 199 Trebs. And I had my king here... And then I had a big thing of Trebs around, and I started attack rounding, making this impenetrable wave of trebuchet shots. So if anyone came to attack my king, I would forever be safe. The problem was, I clicked an area near my king. So the wave was impenetrable. Nobody came to kill me, but I accidentally clicked rather close to my king, and I died. And then I was very confused on how I died. And then people made fun of me. So, anyways, great game. Freaking Andy, dude. His defense is so good. Bad Koala's got to be thinking now, after 2 straight games of where he's been aggressive, how am I supposed to win 3 straight against this guy? I think Bad Koala, as advertised, been aggressive today. He gets the push started. It's a push that can end the game. But then, it's always like one tiny engagement that swings it. It's usually the conversions and the siege shots for Andy. And then his little greed play with the multiple TCs paid off. Really good stuff. I also think that while I like the idea of like the forward trash, the trash didn't really play a role in Feudal Age. Maybe Byzantines not really being good with like men-at-arms, not being good with archers, not being good with something that can kill villagers more. You know, maybe that played a role here, because he needed a little bit more firepower behind his push in Feudal. But again, I think Andy just made it look really easy. Just soaked up the pressure and played defense. He played like the favorite that he is. 2-0 right now for freaking Andy. Ladies and gents, I'm really sorry to have to speed up through this one. We had what we call a thanks DE moment, and we could not get the game to work. But it has been happening. The players have had no issues, so as long as I maybe don't, you know, jinx it here, we should be okay. We've got Bad Koala playing as the Saracens up against freaking Andy Slavs here on Gold Rush. And I know I didn't cast the series, but in the first round, Bad Koala played up against FedEx, and he played as the Saracens there, and he went crazy with the market. Like, it was insane. So... he might not need the gold. Maybe he'll use the gold. We'll see. But we do have to catch up to live time here. And we might... Are we at live time already? Oh, perfect. You guys just got to avoid my long, drawn-out... Not to, you know, take anything away from it. But I won't talk as in-depth on the series and on the matchup as maybe I would usually. So, But no, I take that back, actually. I'm going to say everything I was going to say, but I'm just going to say it in a little bit more detail. Here's the thing about the Slavs. The Slavs don't have many gold bonuses. Where their bonuses lie is in the farms. And, you know, as Andy tries to find some engagements against some Spearman Archer here, the last thing you really want to do with the Slavs is switch into skirms against archers, because you don't have very good skirms. It just doesn't feel natural for your skill set. You want to be on infantry, you want to be on siege, you want to be on cav. So as Bad Koala advances out across the map, Andy may need to consider whether or not he wants to go for skirms. A lot of players would do it here. Andy's more of a greedy player. He has walls down. I don't think he will. But I also don't think he's going to be broken. Saracen archers do more damage against walls and buildings and such. So a feudal age army with Saracen archers could possibly do more. And behind this, Bad Koala is walled, and he's already sending lots of vills to gold. We might even see him send vills to stone just to sell the stone at a good price. Like, that would be the typical Saracens play. But I would like to see Bad Koala take no risks from here. I think this is going to do enough to Andy. And yeah, if Andy wants to play this type of game, let him. And he's even bringing another Spearman forward. It puts Andy in a position to make some decisions now. Because look how fast this palisade's going down. He's going to distract with his scouts. And drop a house here, and that's well played from Andy. Bad Koala. Bringing more archers across the map. So the archer mass will grow. No fletching yet. I actually don't mind that, because I think he's still getting decent amounts of damage in. This is awkward, though. He needs to have this spearman here, and I think he's just forgotten. And then he has to engage here constantly. Because if he's still fighting that wall, Andy's going to engage. And what does Andy do? He drops the market. Just, again, makes it look so easy in defense. And now we'll see if fletching does anything. But yeah, Bad Koala had some crazy games where basically the map control paid off. He used the market, and he built his first TC here, guys. So it was like full in the middle. A lot of players will use the stone and gold at home and take their time on that. But his opponent was Malay in that game who wanted to go for him. But FedEx just kind of ran out of gold. He couldn't take any gold in the middle, which again is rare on this version because we make it rather easy for players to be able to build TCs there. Andy's up. Andy resisted the urge to go skirms. He's got a stable up, as we know. These archers could be a pain. It's still 2 minutes. He can't make a tower either. All right, Andy, let's see it, dude. Let's see how you get yourself out of this one. Because I wouldn't know what to do here. I would die. Because that house will go down very quickly. He needs another market, I guess. And then a house. I think if Koala was attacking this house, it would actually be so much more difficult for Andy to defend. Yep, another market, another house. Okay. Still not great, though. Like, I think... at the very least, I always wonder what to do here. I think right now, it's a mistake for Koala to not continue to attack this house, because Andy will lose 175 wood if he has to fully build this market. This looks like it's going to keep you out, and maybe it will, but I also feel like in some ways, at least force him to build it, because if you delete this market, you get the wood back. Some of it anyways. Uh-oh, 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 uh-oh. You can't engage against this, Andy. Are you kidding me? You can't engage against this. Oh, he does it so he can build more houses. That's not a good engagement for Andy. Losing his scouts. Lost a villager. Army could still break through. Siege workshop for Andy. Andy panicking. Andy can't boom because he doesn't have wood right now. He doesn't have all his stone because he sold some of it to go up. This is his gold. And this pressure from Bad Koala has done more to Andy than any of the pressure so far in this game, it almost feels like. It's been very different type of pressure. And Andy loses another vill. Has access to cheap siege. Can't afford the siege. Has to use the market yet again. And still this market foundation's here. That's great. And your opponent's going to go siege cav now. Your Saracens. You have extra HP on camels. And boom, there's the stable. I think Koala's in a great spot to get a win. But we'll see if he'll have this army alive. The army is rather weak in some ways. Andy takes some hits from the spears. Yeah, it's the same thing he did against FedEx. So my routine right now is in the mornings, before I know Life, Age of Empires, and Hidden Cup, I will like hop on my exercise bike. As I'm on my exercise bike, I'm doing emails and messages. And on my TV, I have up games that I haven't been able to cast. So I had like the Koala FedEx set up, right? So it's like games up on the TV, doing emails and stuff. My phones. I finish, I eat, I sit down, I stream for 8 hours. Then I play games for 3 hours on the new maps and have any additional phone calls I need to do. So it's like this full thing, right? And so I get to this like point of like kind of like delirium and craziness at times. And I remember I made a weird reaction, let's just say, to when Bad Koala played on this map. And when he did this, because this is like crazy aggressive and the TC's so odd. You can so easily do it here. Look at his castle. This is the same thing. This is what I'm getting at. This is crazy. He's like, you will never have chance to sniff this gold. Anyways, I made a weird noise, and the whole story is my fiance came in and said, are you good? So thanks for that, Koala. Look at this. This is epic. Like, no one has done this yet. This is so crazy. He goes TC middle, forward castle. Precisely what he did in the first round. And maybe this is aggressive enough to finally break Andy. He doesn't have crossbow. He doesn't have many upgrades on it, any upgrades on his camels. There is a monk here. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Danger. Danger. Wall the Vills. You got to wall the Vills here, Koala. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Okay, house. Okay, palisade. He needs the same on this side. House. House. Palisade. 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 Hey, build the house. Monk, don't lose the monk. He's panicking. He's panicking. He's panicking. He's panicking. He's panicking. Castle's at 80%. It will probably go up. He's lost 1 Vill. He's lost 2 Vills. The castle goes up. I mean, what a crazy player, dude. I love this player so much. Koala is so fun to watch. I would be kind of bummed if Andy 3-0s him because he's plays to such extremes. He has more stone in the bank than anything. He has more stone than he has wood, than he has food, than he has gold. He has more on stone than anything else. Crazy. So now, let's see what Andy does. Because he can't take 3 tiles of his gold, and he also can't take the gold that was easiest to take in the middle. And what does he do? He goes for a TC here, which is really smart. Now, I get why people thought there was going to be a second castle, because Koala had the stone, but his eco is so bad that he actually just sold all of that so he could buy resources to balance his eco elsewhere. And he does not know that Andy is here, but he might have some suspicions because he might have seen the Vills move this way. And now he's looking. Now, Mamelukes are great against Knights. They still could get converted by Monks, though. And what a fun game. Mamelukes, a ranged camel. And still can't see much. Okay, now we can see the Vills on gold. Now we can see the Vills building the Siege Workshop. Mamelukes can deny that. These Knights may eventually break through, but not for some time. Mameluke hype, people. Mameluke hype. Let's go. Monks could be converted. Oh, God. The scouts here for Andy need to be sniped by the Mamelukes. It's these tiny moments for Andy. And he finds it again. He kills the monks with the scouts. He converts a Mameluke. It feels like Bad Koala's engagements are just not quite good enough against Andy. Andy even finding engagements against the Mamelukes here. And now Andy able to maybe breathe a bit more. Now, he still needs more monks all the time. And it's his Bad Koala we're talking about. So I could see Koala dropping a castle here or something. But it's got to be a frustrating feeling when you gain the position against this guy time and time again. And then he just converts your units to your side at the perfect moment. And then he kills any of your push. What counters Mamelukes? Monks are actually good. Mass Mamelukes is really hard to counter by anything, honestly. They're really solid. You could maybe go for some big siege shots, but... like any unique unit that is strong, the goal is not letting them get the castle. And then you got to remember you need the castle and the food and gold for the Mamelukes. It's a big investment compared to just normal units. But Andy's just making monks. He's just going to convert them. And we now have atonement for Bad Koala to convert Andy's monks. But then Andy also got atonement because he expects it. It's so smart. He's like, okay, how can my opponent treat this scenario? How can he counter me? Well, he would convert my monks. He can't do anything but convert my monks. So I will also convert his monks. And here we go. Monks go to get conversions. Bad Koala gets the conversions first. Devotion should follow if this is a monk war. Andy's still attacking here. He's even siege pushing the main base. And there goes Andy with Devotion, the new tech. So you'll resist conversion. That's by 15%. So it's that much harder for the opponent to convert. But I mean, Andy has more villagers on gold than Bad Koala does. And Bad Koala has a castle in the middle. The presence of mind to walk over here and just build this TC when an aggressive play comes in like that is crazy. And we'll see what happens here for Andy. We'll see what happens here for Koala. This eco's a wreck. He's falling apart, guys. Look at this. He has no farmers. He's looking at the monks. And Andy actually has a really good food eco. He has the fastest farming civ in the game. Villagers are around. Monks are around. It's sloppy. It's messy. But this all favors Andy, who actually has the lead right now. Mameluke switching sides. Monks are switching sides. Peak Age of Empires, folks. Peak. Let's go. I'd love for you guys to show Hidden Cup to your friends, but don't show them this game. It will probably either stress them out or very much confuse them. Show them the other games, maybe from a series that doesn't feature Andy with all his crazy monk defense, but he's got more vills still. I think he's got more monks. I don't know if he's got more monks. We've got monks still switching sides all the time. But again, the theme. As Andy builds a town center at his opponent's base to deny the gold, and that's actually not even... I think it's a little flexy, honestly, but it does make sense. He needs the wood. He needs the gold there. He's collected 4,000 more resources, and he's got the food eco. Look at, like, he's got these farms. They're all working this whole time. Bad Koala will soon not be able to take gold in his base because there's a TC there from Andy that can garrison at any time. So yeah, folks. Monks are just switching sides. Remember this if freaking Andy qualifies for the main event. Low numbers of military. Lots of monks. Greedy boomer. Okay? Those are freaking Andy traits. Also, always plays in the orange color. Now, we never cast him in the orange color. But it would be epic for Hidden Cup if Andy qualifies. And, like, what if 3 people in the first round play in the orange color? True mind games then, right? Andy's going to drop a castle here. And Andy is, I think he has melted his opponent's brain. He may be melting your brains. And Bad Koala is going to try a castle in the middle to deny the gold. Now, maybe if he had this before the monks got out of control, when he had that stone before, and then Andy wouldn't have the gold to make these monks. Andy, cool it, bro. You have 30 monks. Do we really need more? Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Koala. Oh, no. 55%. Oh, no. He doesn't have redemption. He can't convert the siege. Andy looking to deny it. Andy's monks are on alert. It has been brought to their attention. 83%, 85%. There's not many villagers building here. If villagers come to the middle, they will get converted. Do we have the sighting of the Lord here in the qualifier? One of the main event players. Ah! 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 Okay, castle goes up. Okay, get out of there, monks. Get out of there. Get out of there fast. Run, please. This is... Oh, God. I mean, that could be kind of bad. All right, castle's up. Never a doubt. Rams are going to come out from Andy. Andy has this ginormous group of monks just looking to convert something. He deletes these villagers because, because he doesn't want Bad Koala to get more eco. Andy now is advancing with his group of clergymen into the opponent's base. He's converting the houses, and he can just convert everything in here, and we have a mass evacuation from Bad Koala. Bad Koala does not want to be converted, So he sends every single villager from his economy out of here. Okay, so mass exodus. He also knows that Andy's building this castle. Koala's like, I'm Saracens. I don't need wood. I don't need food. I just need gold. And Andy can see this. Andy can see all the bills leaving. And he's going to convert what he can. But, you know, in case you didn't pick up on it, Andy is going to be an imp. And Andy can make trebs soon. And poor Koala, man. He's such a good player. But he's just getting freaking Andied. That's the thing. And, like, Koala kind of started this, right? He brought the castle drop. He made Mamelukes. Monks were the perfect play. And it was never a game where bad Koala could make light cav because he didn't have food. So Monks was just great. I don't know where these vills are going right now for Andy. Oh, they're going to build a mining camp there. He probably just selected his idols and sent them over there. So he walks through his opponent. And Andy's base. Oh, Andy's base. Oh, God. There's monks here from Koala. And there was a counterattack. But the GG's called. Monks created for Koala, 49. Monks created there for Andy, 42. And Andy gets the 3-0. I know the monks are really going to get the highlight there. I know that's what people see and get excited about. But, like, I need to show you this because this is just not... This should be a pressure moment, right? This should be a big deal, even if you're up 2-0. And, like, I think Koala needed more firepower here. Losing the fight as badly as he did was a big problem. But he's so at the limit to get the castle down, which is why this happens. But when this castle goes up, right? Like, at this point, freaking Andy had lost villagers here. He had no momentum in the game. His second town center, which is the only additional TC, gets castled. And then he moves the gold. And his thinking in this moment to just say, oh, I guess I'll just go here then. Like, that's just so good, right? Like, it's really something that needs to be talked about. Because you could so easily think, I can't go to the middle because this is a high pressure situation. And that's really scary. But he's like, no, I actually can. He sacrificed his army for that. I can go here. And he just played so chill. And then it wasn't just that. It wasn't just the TC, but it was like recognition of he needed more vills here, so he walked around. And then what he could do to pressure his opponent. So that's just like really good play, like tricky stuff. I think Koala, the theme in every single game was he would get a position, but he would take worse fights. In this game, he didn't have the crossbow upgrade. That was bad. He needed to have the crossbow upgrade on those 10 archers. In previous games, it was losing his knights to conversions and losing in the siege battle. But a fun series. So I still really enjoyed that. I said it'd be a 3-0 or a 3-2. Andy gives us the 3-0 there.